Aikwe, Neknamalita, and this is my channel, The Midnight Librarian. I am in a new spot. I got some new shelves, and so what I figure, if you're interested, is that I am going to do a bookshelf tour. I remember really enjoying watching these, but understand completely that it's a hassle to edit. So I'm not going to be pulling out every one of my books back here. I'll just be going over basically how I organize this particular bookcase, as well as some of my favorite books perhaps on each shelf, and if there's any particular knickknacks on it, then to just kind of let you know. Otherwise, for the moment, actually, so as much as I enjoy how organized they are currently, I don't know if it's going to stay that way. So for now, this is how my bookcase is for now, and in like a year or so, if I find that it's changed at all, then I'll do another one. So hopefully you enjoy this. I know I kind of did putting it together. It was kind of exciting and kind of difficult, just because like this particular bookcase is odd if you can't tell with the uneven alternating shelving. So it was interesting to figure out, as well as trying to figure out my own preferences in terms of how I wanted to organize it. So yeah, I wish I could have like filmed my process in organizing it. I barely even filmed myself putting the whole bookcase together, mostly because I knew it was going to take forever, as well as I was just unsure about how I ultimately was going to put it all together. So this is the bookcase in question. I forget what the name of it is, but I'll have it linked down below. I believe I got it from Overstock.com. This is the overall look. So starting at the upper left hand corner, we have my pretty rough looking plant here. It is my Calathea medallion. I just watered it yesterday, but it feels like it's gonna need another water. But I've organized my shelving in terms of author last name. So as you can see here, Elizabeth Acevedo is the first that we start off with, and kind of lead into some others. You'll see some from a lot from this year and last year actually that were my favorites. And then we have my little glass paper weight that has is of a jellyfish that I believe my grandmother got me. Moving on to the second shelf, we're continuing in the midst of C's and going over to D's. Like I said, some older stuff, some newer that I've read, and then over here we have this is actually in bloom. This is it in bloom, but it's my what's it called? My Peperomia frost plant. This is my third shelf. We're continuing on, and for the decor here, I have my pincushion spike moss that I've made a little terrarium for. I don't know if that's necessarily deep enough for a terrarium, but so far it's been doing good, so I'm not complaining. Okay, down to this shelf here, we are continuing on. I mean, I guess that's basically it. We're continuing on, I'm kind of losing some of the plants that we have on the upper shelves, mostly because I want them to still be able to get light, and we kind of lose that here at the angle of the window. So, and then same with down here. We have one of my favorite series here, Sleeping, I forget what the series is called, but Sleeping Giants is one of my favorite books of 2021, as was Lots Away, actually. So, or was that 2020? Here in this center, we have my books that I've currently read for this month, so get a little sneak peek of that. I tend to, so I do put my wrap-ups not only on BookTube but on Bookstagram as well. So I like taking a photo of all the books that I read for the month and posting them on Instagram, and books that I don't have physically but have read audibly, I just grab kind of filler books and turn them around that are approximately the same size so that they're represented in that reading. And then over here I have books that I am currently reading. So I am currently in the middle, almost done with The Martian by Andy Weir, and Dracula and Sorrowland and The Vanished Birds. I've started, just haven't finished. It's been months since I've picked them up, actually. So, and then in the middle here we have another really pretty plant. What is it called? The Dieffenbachia Amy, or the Dumb Cane Amy. And second shelf in the middle, we have my current TBR, so my TBR for August for the Magical Readathon. As you can see, I'm doing great. And then over here we have books that I have out from, I believe, my mom's library, actually, from her place of work at the university, as well as a book I borrowed from a coworker. And then in the middle here we have a plant I was gifted that looks like it's had some sun damage, actually. So I may end up moving this later on, but this is an Enjoy Pothos. And then the second to the last bottom shelf in the middle, we are continuing on with my read nonfictions. The alphabet by last name kind of gives these shelves a bit, some interesting book titles next to each other. Ryan Reynolds next to Rick Riordan, not Ryan Reynolds, Jason Reynolds next to Rick Riordan, and Rebecca Roanhorse next to Rogerson. And then we see a couple of Schwab books. I'm still trying to figure out if I enjoy Victoria Schwab's writing. I did like The Savage Song very much, but I hated Our Dark Duet, and I still need to finish the Cassidy Blake series. And then down here on the bottom shelf we are continuing on with Healer of the Water Monster by Brian Young, kind of wrapping that up for me. And then we have my little TY Beanie Baby dragon that I actually gave to my niece, but found that she's not the biggest stuffed animal fan, and this was one that my mom was threatening to just like give away, but I really enjoy it, so I kept it. I'm a big fan of dragons, and so that TY Beanie Baby is sitting on some poetry books that I've read that I really enjoyed and didn't quite know where to put in terms of nonfiction versus fiction, so they're kind of just sitting right there. And then on the last bookcase, on the very right on the top, we have my first set of Book of the Month books that I have read. Some of these I got several years ago. I think Swimming Lessons was one of my first books that I picked from Book of the Month. And as you can see, I had a bit of a problem trying to fill these two bookshelves, so I made things in jars facing outward because I really do enjoy the cover of it. And then here on the second shelf, we continue on with the Book of the Month book picks, as well as my Rabbitfoot Fern. That also, it seems to be coming back. There was a little bit there where it was starting to die off, and I found out it was because it was still in its original little planter box and not actually planted into the pot. So it's been making a comeback since I've done that. I actually planted it. And then we move on to this middle shelf where it is the start of my read nonfiction. Yeah, I love nonfiction. It is very fun, and it's I'm finding, especially when I put them all together, that I love how much Indigenous authored nonfictions that I have. But it's really funny to kind of, like, I typically keep them separate. I, for a while, had kept all my Indigenous authored books separate from my other books, but really just when I put this all together, I wanted to see it mixed in there, because there's some, like, I feel have mixed feelings about keeping Indigenous books separate from other books. So it was interesting to put them all together and kind of see, like, spirit run squished between the genius of birds and animal vegetable junk, as well as I'll Be Gone in the Dark, next to In the Dream House, next to In My Own Moccasins. And then we continue on with that for the second to last shelf here. Again, had a hard time filling out the shelf, so I made Fox and I face out, mostly because it's another cover I absolutely love, and the story wasn't bad either. And then the bottom shelf here, we have my books that I have put on basically a 12-month timeline on these books will self-destruct in 12 months. As you can see, there's less than 12. I have been slowly getting through them. Hopefully I'll be able to get them done here before the time is up. It's coming up here in a couple months. So that is my bookshelf tour. Yeah, I didn't realize just how I don't know, I'm still, like I said, figuring out how I feel about this organization of my bookcase, but so far I'm really enjoying mostly the minimalist of decoration. Like I enjoy my dragon and my plants, but no doubt I will probably end up putting more stuff on it as time goes on, mostly because a lot of my knickknacks and things are on my desk behind you, and I kind of like it that way, mostly because it didn't make sense to me, particularly if I refer to these shelves more often throughout videos or particular for particular videos. It doesn't make sense to have stuff in the way of being able to grab them out easy enough. And I think that was one of the reasons why too that I decided not to do my unread books on this bookcase, just because I didn't want to have to organize and reorganize it. Mostly because this is for sure not all the books that I own. I have 5 other bookshelves throughout the house that are plumb full of unread books, and that was something I was debating on as well, of if I really wanted unread books in other places of the house as opposed to my room, and so far that's where they are. I do have another bookshelf that I recently took out of this room and put into the living room, but it doesn't have anything on it yet. I don't know, I'm still figuring it out, really. So, but so far I'm really enjoying this. It's really nice to see all the books that I have read all in one place. Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you've made it this far, let's go ahead and put like a stack of books, if that's an emoji. Hopefully it is. Otherwise just a book in general. And yeah, be sure to give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you have yet to do so already, and I will see you in another video very soon. Cheers.